Hi, this is Joseph with Engadget, and I have with me here Motorola's Droid 4. It's the latest in the line that started the Android revolution on Verizon to come out of that manufacturer and once again revolutionize the physical QWERTY keypad. If the phone doesn't look familiar, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. It's taken on a decidedly different form factor. As you can see here, it borrows very much directly from the Razr's build, with the oddly angled corners here that sort of taper in on either side, and of course that traditional standard lip that came with all of the previous Droid phones is here missing, although you do still have the slide-out keypad. If we just do a quick device tour, you can also see here that the typical sort of rubberized backing that's always come on all the other Droid phones is gone. Instead, now we have this hard texturized plastic backing that is kind of slippery, but because of the heft of the phone, you probably won't have much problem worrying about this slipping out of your hands. So here on the front, what we're looking at is a 4-inch QHD pen-tile display. It's the same sort of display that was on the Droid 3, so no real improvements here, and we're just as dissatisfied with the quality of the display, but we'll get to that in a bit. Up top, one of the things that did get a bump up from Motorola spec-wise, the VGA front-facing camera of the Droid 3 here has been replaced with a 1.3 megapixel sensor. It's capable of 720p HD. And around back, we have the same 8 megapixel camera capable of full 1080p HD, and there's the single LED flash next to it. We also wanted to point out that if you remember, typically most of the Android phones on Verizon that came out of Motorola always said on the back "with Google." There was a "with Google" branding. Here that is conspicuously absent. Instead, you just get Motorola's logo along with Verizon's and the 4G LTE icon. We're pretty sure that has everything to do with the impending merger that would see Motorola go in-house as a manufacturer for Google. Aside from that, everything else is pretty much standard. You can see down here you have the typical array of Android capacitive buttons. There's menu, there's home, back, and search. And then, as we note in the review, every side of this phone is taken up with some sort of function. So if we look over here, you can see there is the volume rocker, which has it's nice and stiff, has just enough give. Up here at the top, you'll see there is the power button, and it's right next to the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, the one thing we want to point out, maybe we can even show you here, is there you go. It's a very flimsy power button, and it actually gets stuck in its slot. Makes it very difficult to actually know when you've depressed it to wake the screen up or to put the screen into a sleep state. So we fussed around with that a lot. It takes us more than at least 3 attempts to successfully get the phone on and working. And then over here you can see you have your ports for micro USB, and then there is the HDMI out. And then here down at the bottom we have the mic. Now, one of the most confusing aspects of the Droid 4 is the fact that although the battery is non-removable, the backplate is, but you can't just simply pull it off the way you would normally expect to by pressing down and sliding. Over here, what you might think would be a secondary mic is actually a recessed hole which requires the use of a special plastic tool that Motorola includes in the box. And what you do is you insert that tool, depress, and then at the same time slide this down. It's a really sort of not well thought through solution that has actually forced the battery on here, the backplate, I should say, to jut out now. So it's no longer flush with the casing of the phone because of how difficult it is to actually extract. So bear that in mind when you go to check this out as an option for your next upgrade If you feel as though you need to take the backplate off more than once, you may encounter this sort of a situation. But that said, we'll show you in 1 second what it looks like under the hood, but there's really not much there. There is no included micro SD card, although there is a slot that lies just above the micro SIM, and it takes up to 32 gigabytes of expandable storage there. And yeah, and it's just the micro SIM. Other than that, you're not really going to do much underneath here because you cannot take the battery out. And then down here, as you can see, we didn't mention it before, but there's the very tiny speaker, which is actually pretty powerful. Even at full volume, we didn't have any difficulty hearing our caller, and there wasn't that much noticeable distortion. Alright, so here you can see we've gone ahead and loosened up the back plate so we can show you what's on the inside, rather than waste time showing you how difficult it is to get it off. Here we can just simply pull it off, and you can see there's not much. There's no NFC over here on the it's a very flimsy plastic casing, and then there you have it, is the battery that you cannot access, and then here is the slot for the micro SD card, which is just on top of the micro SIM. And if we can get that open, we'll show you how that works. And there you go. So you can slide out your micro SIM here and then put your micro SD card on top. Other than that, you'll have no use for this to take it off. And you can see the difficulty that we have putting it back on. And once again, there is that problem with the back plate sticking out. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you. We'll wake the screen up. And we'll show you it's the same old Motorola Applications platform skin. You can see there's the lock screen that gives you the ability to obviously unlock, switch down from vibrate to sound on, as well as instantly access the camera. So we'll go ahead and wake it up. And here you go. You have the 5 home screens that if you've used any of Motorola's latest handsets, you're well accustomed to. So we'll go ahead and just browse through them very quickly and show you, you have your typical pre-installed apps. There's your Google search bar, there's your My Verizon Data widget. Down here is the dock that you can adjust pretty much every icon according to your choice except for the app drawer button, which is stuck in place. You cannot customize the number of home screens, although you can access them in a sort of panorama view. If you simply press on the home button, you can see them all here, and you can quickly jump to one by selecting it. We'll pull down the notification bar. You can see it has that transparent effect, and then here you can individually delete your notifications. Alright, so let's go into the app drawer, and we'll show you what comes on here. Now, this is nothing new, but you do have the option of sorting your apps according to everything you have on the phone, what has been used recently, what you've downloaded, and of course Verizon's. We'll just take a look there just to show you the amount of bloat that you're getting in for. There's about 13 of Verizon's own apps on here, and then if we go back, we can show you a handful of other ones. Amazon Kindle, which is pretty much standard on any phone at this point. You have Blockbuster also coming on here. We have a bunch of ones we installed ourselves to do benchmark testing, but you can also see there's Let's Golf 2, you have Madden, NFL 12, and then a couple from Motorola. You have Moto Active, as well as Moto Print. Now this phone does also come with Moto Smart Actions, so it can learn your habits and then sort of adjust your settings accordingly to help you conserve battery power. Now the battery on here is a 1,785 milliamp hour battery, which we were very happy to see in our testing lasted about 7 hours in the formal rundown test. That's with a video looping until it died. So if you're running on the 4G network provided by Verizon and you're doing moderate to light usage, you will be able to eke out a full day, just barely on the phone. But if you're a heavy user, you'll probably want to keep your charger at the ready. Okay, so the other big draw of this phone is that it's basically comes equipped with one of the best physical QWERTY keyboards on the market that has been refined over the generations of the Droid line. I'll just show you here. Now, this particular Droid 4 is actually about 0.5 ounces heavier than the Droid 3. So it sort of bucks that thin is in trend that we've seen come out with the Razr and other phones, across the spectrum of the mobile market. In addition, it's actually a little bit bigger than the Droid 3 as well. So Motorola's kind of gone in the opposite direction with the design of the Droid 4. But one place where they did move forward was here on the keypad. It's actually excellently spaced, even though there is a bit of extra room here on the bezel. It's fine. The keys are actually just big enough. They have that sort of a softly rounded and raised plastic, so you can easily feel them as you're navigating about, and there's really no learning curve for this keypad. In addition, there's a soft backlight around the base of each key that's triggered by the ambient sensor. So if you're in the dark and you need to text in the middle of the night, or even in the movie theater, much to the chagrin of everyone around you, you can easily bang that out using here. And as you can see, sliding it open easily triggers landscape mode. And then if you go ahead and tap on any of the keys here, you're given an assortment of apps or contacts that match the text that you've entered. If you don't enjoy typing on a physical QWERTY, in which case you probably shouldn't get this phone, there is Swipe pre-installed for that option. In addition to that, and you can see here, here's the soft keyboard. The touchscreen responsiveness is excellent on this phone. So we often found ourselves relying more on the touchscreen than actually pulling out the keypad. That may just be habit, or it may just be the fact that that the touchscreen is pretty excellent. So, okay, other than that, we're just going to show you what's here in the camera app. And okay, this is the 8 megapixel camera. It's the rear module, which is capable of 1080p video capture. And here you can see, go through your settings. You can set it widescreen, you can change the video resolution, you can tag it, you can shut off the shutter tone, and then you have your array of filter effects. Next to that is your scene mode, so portrait, landscape, sport, macro. Macro, we should point out, there was a lot of difficulty in focusing on the object up close. Normally what would happen is the camera's focus, the sensor would hone in on the background details. And then here you have your shot mode, so you can do single shot, panorama, which we took a few excellent panoramic shots, multi-shot, as well as timer. And then you can adjust the exposure, as well as set flash to auto on and off. And then here, very simple, you can toggle to the camera and back, and you have access to a lot of the same sort of options. So that's that for the camera app. Other than that, if you're a business user and this is the device that your IT department opts in for, or simply one that you choose, it does come preloaded with Citrix receiver for Android. So if you do have one of the 10-inch or 14-inch lap docks, it will you'll be able to access that feature in web top mode. So that's pretty much it. This is the Droid 4 on Verizon. It's available now for $200 on contract. So if you're a fan of the original line and you don't mind missing out on the traditional build of this handset, and you don't necessarily want a phone that's as felt as can be, and you're really just a power user that needs to bang out emails and text, this is the phone for you. It'll last you a long time. It's durable. It can be a bit frustrating in terms of accessing the battery. Some of the design decisions here are questionable, but the camera is perfectly serviceable, and the network, you have excellent network connectivity with this handset. So that's it. This is the Droid 4 on Verizon. I'm Joseph with Engadget. Thanks.